Have you ever thought about how often you're manipulated? Manipulators can be people you know, but also various social groups you belong to. They can be colleagues, friends, and family members. Even governments and large commercial companies aim to influence your decisions and actions. What if every decision you make can be controlled by someone else's interests, even if it's harmful to you? In this video, I will reveal the mechanisms of manipulation to you. Then, I'll show how it's related to your emotional state. You'll learn how this process impacts your life. I'll also share Stoic rules that will help you easily avoid emotional traps. The Roman Stoic philosopher Lucius Seneca wrote, "To have power over oneself is the highest power." This wise statement prompts us to reflect. If you don't have control over yourself, then who is truly in charge of your life? In this case, your actions and decisions will be dictated by external circumstances, others' interests and opinions, as well as the whims of fate. In fact, your life will be controlled by the external world, not by you. It's unpleasant to realize that you become a hostage to random or planned factors that disregard your desires, ambitions, and goals. Every day, every minute, external forces exert influence on you. Your thoughts, decisions, and actions are to a greater or lesser extent subject to the influence of external factors. This influence can take various forms and manifestations. However, among all types of influence, one of the most unpleasant and dangerous is manipulation. Manipulation is a cunning way of exerting influence on you, often used by other people or circumstances. Its main goal is to establish control over a person's behavior and deprive them of freedom of thought, directing them in the desired direction. In most cases, manipulation is carried out covertly and unfortunately is a negative phenomenon. Most people find it challenging to understand when they are being manipulated. This is because manipulators exploit your fears and shape the necessary emotions and thoughts. Manipulation can involve various aspects, such as covert influence, thought programming, intentions, feelings, relationships, attitudes, and behavior. Imagine this process as hunting wild animals. Hunters set up special traps and markers in advance along specific paths in the forest. Then, using dogs, they direct the wild animal onto a prepared path. The animal, experiencing fear and panic, runs through the forest, unaware that at the end of the path, hunters await it. Similarly, manipulators steer you down specific paths using your emotional state and thoughts. They create situations in which you act according to their interests, not always realizing that you are under their influence. From early childhood, we encounter manipulation, starting with our interactions with our parents. For instance, a caring mother may say to her child, "Wait, don't start. I'll come and help you." At first glance, these words may seem like expressions of care, but their hidden meaning is, "You can't handle it yourself, I'll do it for you." As a result, children learn not to take responsibility, becoming indecisive and dependent. Another example is when parents, fearing envy or judgment from others, say to their children, "Why are you standing out?" or "What will other people think?" Such negative attitudes teach children to base their actions on the opinions of those around them. Then children are deprived of initiative and creative self-expression. This can later affect their personal development. There are many such examples of parental manipulation. It's important to understand that in most cases, parents act with good intentions but may not always be aware of the consequences of their words and actions. Deep-seated motivations in parents, tied to their fears and personal issues, can unconsciously influence their children. So, don't hold it against your parents, as they may not fully understand what they're doing. Let's consider other aspects of manipulation that influence our lives. For example, the intriguing field of science known as neuroeconomics, when combined with marketing, advertising, and PR, serves as a powerful tool in shaping our decisions and preferences. One of the key themes in neuroeconomics is the study of how emotions influence our choices and actions. This is why advertising campaigns and product promotions are becoming increasingly sophisticated, using knowledge from psychology and neurobiology. There's a term called spontaneous buying or impulse buying, It refers to an unplanned decision to purchase a product or service made just before the purchase. Research findings show that emotions and feelings play a crucial role in a purchase made after looking at a product or being influenced by a well-crafted advertising message. Analyzing this information, we can confidently say that emotions and feelings turn out to be the most vulnerable part of our psychological world. Emotional tricks and manipulations are present everywhere in our daily lives. I could provide more details on this if you're interested. Please leave your comments, and if there's enough interest, I can create an additional video. Now I'll share with you the key rules based on Stoic philosophy. This will help you dismantle emotional manipulations and avoid these traps. Rule number 1. Control your emotions and avoid impulsive actions. Stoic philosophers practiced controlling emotions such as anger, fear, and hatred. These emotions are very powerful, but short-lived. If you ever feel something similar, it's a clear signal to take a pause before making a decision. Notice that most manipulations are related to making quick decisions. For example, a sale or a promotional offer titled, "Only today, only now, and limited product availability." Scammers often create urgency and chaos, triggering emotions and demanding quick decisions. Many people realize they've been deceived only after some time. Your task is to pause and start thinking rationally. Ask yourself questions like, what events or circumstances triggered this emotion? What specifically in this situation makes me react emotionally? What beliefs or assumptions underlie my emotional state? Is this event or situation important in the long run for me to engage with emotionally? Another effective method is to create different scenarios for your thoughts and emotions. Try to view the situation from multiple perspectives, envisioning the best, worst, and neutral possible outcomes. This exercise will help you distance yourself from negative emotions and shift them into a more peaceful state. Remember that your inner calm and resilience are reliable defenses against emotional manipulation. In Stoic philosophy, there is a concept known as apathy, which is understood as indifference. In reality, it's not ignoring or harshly suppressing emotions and events, but the ability to step back from initial emotional impulses. In psychology, this approach is called cognitive distancing. Imagine yourself as a neutral observer and consider what sensible advice you would offer a friend in a similar situation. This will allow you to see events more objectively and make more rational decisions. Rule number 2. Don't be afraid to make decisions and take responsibility for your choices. In the first rule, it's important not to make hasty decisions based on emotional outbursts. But in the rule number 2, I want to draw your attention to feelings and moods. These are long-lasting states of a person. People can experience feelings of guilt and shame for years, or perceive themselves as failures. Manipulations often exploit such internal states of a person. People may tolerate toxic relationships because of guilt or fear of loneliness. People endure abuse and gaslighting at work because they fear change and feel insecure. In such cases, it's essential to stop being afraid of making decisions and become a responsible individual. A person is constantly making decisions and choices. These decisions determine our future outcomes and our destiny. Our entire life is a continuous process of decision-making, shaping our life path. Many try to ignore the fact that they need to make decisions. Unfortunately, ignoring is also a choice, which worsens the problem. If you delay making a decision for too long, the range of options may narrow at some point. In other cases, someone else may make a decision that will significantly impact your life. If someone seeks to influence you by triggering feelings of guilt, shame, or other unpleasant psychological states, it's a signal for decision-making. Here, the Latin expression festina lente is appropriate, which means make haste slowly. In other words, the decision-making process is inevitable, but you have time to consider it without dragging it out for an extended period, because these feelings and moods can become your enemies on the path to personal development. It's important to shield yourself from such influence. Don't be afraid to take steps towards changes in your life that will help you avoid toxic relationships, questionable communities, and unscrupulous employers. To develop your courage in decision-making, apply some techniques. I previously mentioned scenario planning, which is also suitable for this rule. Write down different outcomes that may result from your decision to change your life. You can create a list of all scenarios that come to mind and then analyze them. It's also helpful to explore similar situations written about by other people, including psychologists. Learn from those who have already made decisions to rid themselves of negative influences. One of the most important elements is self-exploration, and I'll discuss that in the next rule. Rule number 3, self-analysis. In the ancient city of Delphi, there was a temple of Apollo where the Delphic oracle made her prophecies. At the entrance to this temple, you could see an important inscription: Know thyself. You need to study yourself, conduct an analysis of your strengths and weaknesses to effectively dismantle manipulations, and not be afraid to make beneficial life decisions. If you claim that you fully understand everything about yourself, don't forget about this video where I am telling you right now that it's a skillful lie. I don't want to call you a liar. I'm trying to convey the idea that many people often misinterpret their own nature. Try the following exercise. On a sheet of paper, list your strengths and weaknesses of character. Then ask close friends or acquaintances to make the same list of your character traits. Compare what you know about yourself with how others see it. However, remember that this information doesn't always fully reflect your personality. For a deeper analysis, also write down which character traits and behavioral styles irritate you in other people. Often what annoys you in others is a reflection of your own traits that you might not notice. Analyzing your strengths and weaknesses will help you better understand yourself and develop strategies for further growth. Some aspects of your personality may be hidden but actively impact your everyday life. For a more in-depth analysis, you need the following rule. Rule number 4, tame the wild beast. Stoic philosophers paid attention to the animal nature of humans. They wanted the primitive instincts and passions not to dominate human behavior. In psychology, the place where this wild and rough energy resides is called the subconscious or non-conscious. This powerful force helped humans survive in the wild and fight for their place on this planet. Unfortunately, now non-conscious can create problems for people, so it's necessary to learn to work with this phenomenon. Studying and harnessing this wild and dark energy will give you great strength that will improve your life. In ancient times, people conducted rituals and ceremonies aimed at interacting with the irrational nature of the human psyche, including the non-conscious. One such ritual was the initiation of boys into manhood. You can watch the movie The Legend of the Green Knight, which may seem irrational at first, but is filled with mystical imagery and experiences. This film depicts the initiation process of the main character. In the modern world, we have almost lost the tradition of such practices, but there is an alternative, the opportunity to delve into psychology. Psychology provides valuable information about your consciousness and non-conscious. This can help you understand hidden processes within your personality. I want to remind you that experienced manipulators often target your non-conscious to influence your decisions. So I recommend that you study these important matters and then turn them into everyday practice. Now I'd like to provide a brief summary of all the information in this video. Today, people often become victims of manipulation from various sources. Manipulation exploits the nature of emotions, feelings, and subconscious processes in the human psyche. To break free from emotional traps, you need to study and then improve yourself. Stoic philosophers also understood these issues and tried to cultivate the necessary qualities and attributes within themselves. Stoicism is a philosophy aimed at enabling individuals to become the authors of their lives and not be dependent on other people or circumstances. If you learn to control yourself, all your decisions and actions will be filtered through the lens of your interests and goals. If you relinquish power over yourself, you'll become a slave and hostage to the destiny others prepare for you. I hope you enjoyed the video, so please subscribe to the channel and share this video with others. I want Stoic philosophy to continue to evolve and be a reliable aid in personal development. Thank you for watching the video.